So Kev, after the FA Cup at the weekend, we're straight into action again tomorrow with a trip to Woking and another chance to build on our strong league form.
Yeah, of course, and obviously disappointed the result in the end, but can't fault the players in terms of their effort, and work rate and going down to 10 men, which can be really difficult. But all credit to them because I thought we were very good with 10 men.
Ben Goodliff will be absent for tomorrow's game, but in turn does that provide an opportunity for the squad to demonstrate its strength and depth and opportunities for players?
Possibly, yeah. Listen, I think that's what the squad is and everyone does. So provides opportunity, gives us, we can have a tweak at one or two things if we need to. But apart from Goody, we're okay.
Woking's form has fluctuated throughout the season, but they've picked up some really good results in recent weeks. What challenge do you think they can pose?
Yeah, listen, obviously I know Neil really well. We've come up against each other quite a few times, when he was with Solihull and York, of course, and, brilliant guy and really good coach and manager, and so experienced at the level. So we know how well they'll be organised and, they've had the weekend as well. So I'm sure they'll be ready for it. Anytime you go to Woking and there's a test there. But, we're in a good place in terms of their form in the league and where we're at. So looking forward to it.
Perfect. Cheers, Kev.
You are already on a good run and previously how to build runs with this team. So does that give you a bit of momentum when it comes to the league?
I'd like to think so, yeah. The confidence should be there, in terms of results we've had in the league and how we've performed. So listen, any time you go away in National League, it's always tough because it's so competitive. We know that, and I say that every week. But the lads should be in good form, and in a good place, and they're trained ever so well, and so looking forward to it.
Yeah, and like you say, Woking have picked up form, but they are better on the road. You have proven on the road and at home that you can be resilient. Yeah,
of course, and I think we've done all right, as you say, away from home, and last time out in the league was a very good result, and you want something similar, of course. But watching them, against Rochdale had a good performance, a good point. Altrincham very good again. So we know the test that's coming, but we're ready.
Yeah, and defensively, just one goal conceded in October, and when you have had to make changes this season earlier on with injury in that back line, you have showed how well that players can come in and be called upon when needed.
Of course, yeah, and I think we've been fairly consistent in that area, but as you say, there's always been one or two changes at times, which happens throughout the season, and when we've had to do that, we feel like we've been okay, and that's hopefully the strength of the squad, which you need. And when you go into a period of games, it's going to be needed. There's always going to be injuries and suspensions, etc. But I think we're in a decent place with that.
And bar that suspension, everyone else came through okay. Did it also give you a chance at the weekend to maybe just those players who have played a lot of minutes, just swap things around a bit? Yeah,
and I don't think the sending off changed the game. I thought we were excellent for the first 15-20 minutes and really on top. So I think we can change players. I think there's a consistency and a real good level in terms of there's not much drop off when we do change, because of the quality of player we've got. So we should be able to change, at the right time, and the lads that did play a lot of minutes, then credit to them for the fitness levels, and for the quality they showed at times. So yeah, listen, there's no drop off when I have to change for me.
You touched on it a little bit there about people being ready when they need to be called up. 22 of your 23 players have had those real match minutes. How important is that time sort of under their belt when you're choosing?
Yeah.
You've got one less person to choose from in the squad. How important is that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's something that when you look at the amount of games that have been at the start of the season, it's important you have a strong squad for that period. And I think it's a credit to them personally and the fitness levels they've got that when they do come in, and it's competition for places. When you get in, you've got to perform. And I think even if you come off the bench, you've got to have an impact, and I think they've done that this year. And that's something we haven't had, but we want to keep having, and that's up to them to keep the standards in training and what that looks like. So when you're called upon, you are ready.
And so lots was made about the changes on Saturday, wasn't it? But the reasons behind it was just to sort of give other people a bit of a chance, and you don't regret it or anything like that?
No, not at all. We're picking that team was good enough to win football matches as they showed in the first 15-20 minutes. As I say, the thing changed. The sending off changes it. I don't know any noise about changes. That a lot of the players that finished the Brackley game are the ones that started, and they deserve that opportunity. And I think when I do make changes, the drop off isn't at all. I think it's very competitive, and I can play, any number of the squad, and not drop off.
Yeah, and Slavy was a bit of a knock.
Yeah.
How's he? Has he been training?
Yeah, he's been training.
Okay now?
Yeah, because he had a slight, I think it was the Thursday before, felt his hip flexor slightly, so didn't train fully, and then done a little bit Friday. So listen, with the squad, there's no need to risk it if you don't need to.
And I guess you felt having to take Tom Hopper off, having just got his chance, not being on the bench, and then having to take him off. But it was just the circumstances, the way it unfolded. Yeah,
exactly. We had to. Unfortunately, during that period when we were waiting to make changes, they scored a goal. Which is slightly unfortunate. But as I say, probably frustrating for Hops in terms of he was the one that had to be sacrificed at the time. Because he really wants to get going, and unfortunate, and that's what the sending off done.
Yeah, and is Charlie Kendall back with us now? How's he been after his sort of time away with you?
Yeah, not yet. He's still doing some work away. We hope to have him back very soon, and he's going to take a little bit of time once he gets back into the group training. He'll have to spend some time with the physio on the grass first before he comes with us. So it's been a slow one, and someone we've missed in terms of his energy and his work rate. So the sooner we can, the better.
And my weekly question of any ins and outs, is there anything close to being either way?
Yeah, possibly out in terms of, maybe a defender going out to get games, which we do. Needed to look at things this time of year, and make sure we're on target with stuff. So possibly out.